Welcome back to the channel. So it's another little trade recap today, the trade we've taken today, and just falling back onto yesterday's plan, what our plan was and why we had that plan. So yesterday's video we were here and we are expecting to come up to this line here, wick it on the 4 hour, which I'm not sure if we wicked it on the 4 hour, but we definitely barely closed above it. Yeah, so wicked it basically on the 4 hour. Then reverse down to this POC and look for a trade just above here, which we have taken, so we'll get into that in a second. Then we're looking to bounce around here and either break below the POC, retest and go to the value area low, which is I think what's happening now, or we were looking to maybe trade the POC to go higher. So we did have the long positions. Let me just get that up. This long here, so this long originally was targeted up here. I was happy taking profits from here, or anywhere above that. So when we came up to this level right here, I did not close any of the long. Instead, I hedged the short position. So the benefit of hedging really is, so I was in this long, it came up to here, and I could have taken out. But the benefit of the short is the fact that I could take a short here, and if it loses, I just bring my SL into that amount of profit. So for example, at the start, when we first came up here, my SL was around here. And then the first trade we took was break even, but it was I think it was literally like 44p risk. Like I said, I'm not risking anything whatsoever until September, October, just getting warm back into it. But it was literally nothing risk, so I could just bring my SL that much closer, and even if the trade lost, which it didn't, I could still walk out with profit from that. So we're just going to jump into these trades that I took here quickly first. There was 2 hedge shorts and 1 addition to long, 2 break evens and 1 TP. I think it was a 3.5R, so basically I think it was close to a 4R actually. I have to double check that though. So if we go to the 5 minute here and bring these positions back, we've got the first short, the second short position, and there was a long position here which I'm going to have to draw on, but we'll do that in a second. So as you see, this first position just here, I entered just there. I'll show the actual entry chart now on the side here while we're doing this. So we entered here and it started pushing down, and I saw the 5 minute confirmation land in. So the confirmation was when this Heiken actually turned red, so that candle there, I put my SL to entry. So from after this candle here, my SL was at entry, but it then came up and just wicked my entry, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like, I'm happy to just take a break even trade, to be honest. Obviously if I kept it in, it would have been nice, it would have been a 13 RR, but I didn't keep it in. I played it safe, put the SL to entry. But then the second entry was here. So after that 5 minute had confirmed, we started pushing down. I was waiting again for the Heiken actually to turn red, for the final confirmation. So the Heiken actually turned red in this candle. I did it at like 30 seconds too late, so it did just switch to the next candle, or I think it might have been just here, to be honest, on this candle. But this was the entry price that I entered at. And then rode it down to our expectancy from yesterday, which was the retest of this POC. So again, we took them highs, came down to the retest of the POC, and we got that nice trade there. So yeah, it was a 3.6 RR, so close to a 4. And then the final trade was actually a long from this position here. So once we came down to touch this POC, just here, we got these bull divs in place right here, which was pretty nice. Then after the bull divs, I was waiting on the Heiken Ashi here. So we had the green Heiken Ashi, but the EMAs, I believe at the time, yeah, see here, the EMAs hadn't quite started curving up on this green Heiken Ashi. So I thought I'd wait for it to go red then green again, so we ended on this candle. And we got stopped out at entry on that one as well, which you can see on the screenshot I just put there. We entered around here for a long SL below here. Our target was these highs, and as soon as we had this big push up just here, I decided to put my SL at entry because the Heiken Ashi was strong green on the 3 and the 5. Once this loads, just have to give it a second. So you see on the 3 minute the green Heiken Ashi is, on the 5 minute the green Heiken Ashi. There was no reason why we shouldn't have put ourselves at entry, because if we go to our entry, the Heiken Ashis are going to be red, and that isn't a good confirmation being exactly where we are. We know it's going to be volatile around here. We're at the POC, we've retested that, and we've got this level of interest that we've recently taken. So if we were going to continue higher, it would have been up here, retest higher, as we discussed yesterday. If you go and check out yesterday's video for my whole recap, we had this whole trade planned out, ready for this short, and that's exactly what we took. But then at this position here, we came up. This would be easy to see on candles. We came down here and created bull divs. Bull div here. As soon as we created this bull div, I put my SL to this POC level just here, because at that point there I realized if we're not going to push up from here and we do take these lows again, we are going to be below this POC, struggling to break it, which as you can see, if I just disable this EMA, you can see here I was correct in that thought process. As soon as we took out these lows again, we've retested the POC and now we're on the way to the value area low. So I didn't want to be holding that trade too much. The original trade idea was to the POC anyway, so I'm happy to take that. So today we closed at a 2.45 and a 3.67, so that's what, 6 RR, so about 6 RR today, which is pretty nice. I was only risking a few dollars, like I said, but it's still 6 RR, 6 RR. It's the premise of the trade that counts. We're still getting warmed up for when the bull run comes. So yeah, it's pretty nice, to be honest. So our next pretty much target is going to be right now. We'll have a look to see if we can resist here at this fib and these licks. That's basically our next target. But what's likely to happen is we're likely to do something like this down here, bull div there, and then just around there is where we're looking to potentially take the long. And if we can't hold that, then 786 is the last sort of key pot, but I'm not really trusting this as much. After this trade here, I'm likely to wait for these lows at the bottom to take out these, because we have got these lows and then still June from yesterday. Let's see if we can get a good anchor point on that low there. Oops, we've got these lows just here. And then again, from what we drew out yesterday, we've got these lows over here as well, which all lines up with or near this fib. So we've got that fib there for these lows, and then if we just drag it up, we've got the 786 licks here. So this 786 is a lot more probable compared to this smaller scale that's up here, because we have got licks here, and again we are still below the macro value area low, which is nice. So that's pretty much going to be the next two levels I'm looking for. These lows and these lows. So just here, them two levels. And if we can take them, I'll be interested in longs, which we're likely to hit sometime soon. If we don't take them levels here, and we bounce here, I might look to take a retest of the POC. But to take a retest of the POC, we want to be pushing down to here anyway, to be honest. We want a good retracement to get a retest on that POC. If we do it from now, it's going to be quite difficult to catch. But if we go into why I took this trade, it was the same as I said yesterday. We've got the fib retracement here. We've got, if I draw in this volume profile again, I think it was from here. Yeah, we had this high volume node just here. We draw a square for that. So we've got this high volume node just here at the fib retracement, the fair value gap just here, with an order block inside of it. But fair value gap and order block probably not as important. The more important is the volume at that level, that fib retracement, which was the key to us taking that short trade. So it works out pretty nice. So I'll put the screenshots just now again on the screen of the 3 positions that I took today. You can see it on the chart, and this position closed. But altogether we came out with the 6 hour offers today, so that's not too bad, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with that. And I'll probably drop another analysis video if we do any major moves, but other than that, the analysis will be covered in these recaps, so keep it nice, short and snappy. So yeah, I'm not going to keep you too long, that's going to be everything. If you've got any questions, just let me know. I'll try and answer them next time, but it's all self-explanatory. If you checked out the last video, you'd know exactly why we took this trade. We had it during touch yesterday, so just keep up to date with them, and yeah, that's all. Right, safe, catch you next time.